Okay, so there is no easy way out or shortcuts when it comes to healthy eating, I've discovered. I've just been thinking about Thailand. That's where it's really obvious. I know a man who's lived there for 30 years. Now, the first 10 years that he lived there, everybody was slim, healthy. There was no Western food and all that. And they didn't have mopeds, all of them. Many of them walked everywhere, right? And they didn't. Now, what's happened in the last 20 years, many Westerners have come, and you've got KFCs, Maccas, and all that, but you've also got baked goods, like the custard tarts, the apple pies, dairy in a bottle, 2 litre dairies at the supermarket. Dairy, yogurt, all that stuff didn't exist in Thailand 30 years ago, but it has for the last 20. So you got Thai people who have completely changed their diet. Now, here's the other thing. They jump on a moped to go anywhere, even if it's 50 metres up the street. They didn't do that before. They walked, okay? So they're doing less work. And then there's the other one is like if you go to a Thai supermarket, they'll have both aisles will be absolutely full of these Maggi cuppa soups and all that stuff, which have zero nutrition really. They're not even rice noodles or whatever. They're made of wheat and chemical, these numbers and all this stuff. And they drink that by that's like they're massive aisles of it. Here in Australia, there's a small aisle of cuppa soup and noodles and add water stuff, 2-minute noodles and that. But over there, it's massive aisles. Because that's their style of food. And they used to make soup, but now they do that instead. And they go to this, there's 7-Elevens on every block. So what they do, they have that cup of soup, it's got no nutrition in it. Then they go and get a chocolate bar and a Coke on their moped. So you get the drill. And what's happened over there is everybody's getting diabetes. It's a diabetes epidemic over there, and it's undiagnosed. But how they tell is the blokes take a wee on the ground and all the ants come running apparently and to their urine, they go, you're diabetes. Yeah, so the point is human beings are designed to run away from pain and run towards pleasure. So you can't sit there. They just get on their moped everywhere. They eat chocolate. They want to make soups quickly rather than spend hours chopping and boiling and building a fire to cook it on and whatever. Their natural compulsions as a human being, right? And the companies have known that, right? And they've made these products, but there is no easy way out. So, and one of the ways I discovered that is I've talked to a lot to girls from the Philippines. And in the Philippines, the girls, that's American and Spanish mixed in with Philippine people. Like there are very few people who are just a Filipino now. Most of them are part Spanish, part Westerner, and also Chinese as well. In fact, most of Asia, most people are a little bit Chinese. No matter where you go, the Chinese have infiltrated everywhere and got in the mix of every race. So you need to look for that because it helps you understand people and what they're about and things. But anyway, the problem with this shortcutting and buying that soup, there is no shortcut to a healthy soup. You want a healthy soup, you got to get the fresh vegetables and the little bits of chicken and seafood or whatever, and you got to chop it, you got to cook it, you got to boil it, you got to strain it, whatever's involved in soup making. If you want a healthy soup, it's that simple. So if you want healthy food here in Australia as well, there's one way only. You need to go shop for it. You need to prep it. You need to cook it yourself because that's the only way you're going to know what's been used, how much oil, whatever. But it's also the only way you're going to get these ingredients, Otherwise, you're going to be eating these nutrition-less soups and whatever. Or what you're paying for, let's say you go to Woolies and buy chopped stuff, you're immediately being banged really, really hard for the labour of any chopping and whatever. They hit you really hard for that. So basically, and they shortcut in every way possible as well to cut costs. So, yeah, like I say, if you want your food fast and you want it easy and you want all that, I understand why, because you could beat yourself up and say, why do I keep going to the drive-thru or whatever? But as a human being, from the caveman days or whatever you believe in the past, it doesn't matter. One way or the other, we seek pleasure over pain. and we seek easier ways of doing things. Otherwise, we wouldn't have invented wheels and everything else. So, but like I said, that you've got to watch that, because it gets to a point where it's impossible and unnatural, or it's not won't work economically for a company to provide that for you or whatever. So you've just got to recognize that if you want healthy soup with nutrition and don't want to have nutritionless food that's also going to cause diabetes and everything else because it's got too much salt, sugar, fat, chemicals and all that stuff, you're going to have to do it yourself. So, yowza, I don't know what else to say. Bye.